Everybody. I hope everyone's doing really, really well. Now, with this session today, I wanted to, first off, I'm hoping you can all see the screen all okay. There should be like a hands up kind of like functionality on here. If you could just all like raise your hands, or if there's a Q&A box, just pop a yes in the Q&A for me. That would be amazing. It's going to be quite awkward if you can't see the slides in the screen. This is actually a new format of Zoom that I'm testing at the moment. So fingers crossed it all works all okay for you. Now, this session today, what I want to take you through is it's a new one. It's a brand new one. It's a new slide deck. If you're here for the first time, then it won't be relevant to you. But if you've been to one of my workshops before, you're going to see new branding, you're going to see new everything, because I've decided to change up the way in which we give our free content out over the next few months or so, because I just want to add as much value as I possibly can. And I feel like there's lots of change going on LinkedIn right now. And this platform, I think lots of people are getting more and more frustrated with it. I'm speaking to so many people at the moment where they've been told that they should be getting leads, customers, all of that stuff from it. And it's just not coming. And they've been doing it for a little while, or they've kind of been inconsistent with it, or they've just kind of got started. And with this session today, it's not going to be one that I need you to engage with massively, but I do want you to do some thinking with it. I want you to reflect. And the reason being is that I've got the chat box closed. So there's nothing that you need to talk to me about in here. For me, this is about you learning as much as you possibly can, doing as much reflection as you can. And I'm hoping that the stuff that I'm going to be sharing with you kind of gives you like the behind the scenes of how we do things. And then at the end, I will give you a chance to hear a little bit about what it is that we do and how you can work with us. But today, the session is all on how to turn your content into clients. Okay. And this is something that I get asked quite a lot. And with it, if there's anything that you do want to ask me throughout the session, all I need you to do, I'm going to give you a QR code in a second, which you can scan. Just come and send me a message on LinkedIn, and I'll make sure to answer them one-to-one for you, so you get that access to me as well. But this is a predominantly focused session on inbound opportunities. Right. So this isn't about direct messaging. I've got more workshops coming up on that in the future, but it's about generating inbound opportunity. It's something that I speak all around the world about. I've been very, very fortunate to speak on some amazing stages. And I'm looking forward to sharing with you the insight and some of the frameworks that we use to really generate the results from LinkedIn that we do. Now, as always, what I love to make sure that you're aware of is what we're covering inside of this session. So the framework that I'm going to be taking you through is the one which we utilize across hundreds of campaigns. So we manage campaigns, but we also consult and mentor and teach on what we've probably done over 2,000 now since we've been doing this for the last 6 or 7 years. And the framework has been developed and improved, but it's like foolproof now. Like anyone can do it. It's not complicated in its understanding, but when you start to apply it, you'll see how powerful it is. And it's, if you want to take notes down, it's the Pacer framework. Yes, I will be distributing a recording at some point after this session. You will receive it via an email at some point. So just so you're aware, if you do want the recording, if you also message me on LinkedIn when I give you the QR code in a second, you can come and ask me for the recording as well. But the Pacer framework is split into 5 sections. The first is on your profile. Profiles are non-negotiable. I'm going to be talking to you about the ins and outs of them. The second is asset creation. So the A is for asset creation. The C is for content strategy. The E is for inquiries inbound. So getting those inquiries coming to you. And then the R is about building reliability into the process. Because when you first start doing this, I'll give you this for free now. When you first start doing this, you will see a spike, right? You will receive some opportunity. And people always say it's like, oh, the first 5 clients are the hardest. Actually, with social media, when you do it the way that I'm about to teach you, the first 5 clients are the easiest. It's clients 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 15, 20, 30, 50, where it becomes harder. And that's purely because you will already have people in your networks right now, whether you're using LinkedIn actively or you're not, you already have people in your network right now that are ready to buy from you if you start talking about what you do in a certain way. And so with it, the longer you do this, the harder it gets for most people. And so the reliability section at the end, is absolutely critical if you want to kind of really get this motoring for you long term. But my outcome promise for you for this session is that you will 100% leave. If you stay until the end, you will leave with a clear understanding of what you need to be sharing on LinkedIn right now to start getting the attention that I know that if you're on here, you're probably extremely credible. You warrant the results, but you're just not doing the right things to get them. And so I'm going to be sharing with you the exact steps that we do to get these inquiries every single week, because each and every one of you that are here today, you can do this. And this will be a relatively small group, I imagine. So literally, I will answer. If you scan that QR code there at any point, I'm going to try and keep it up for as long as possible today. But come and message me on LinkedIn, right? Go and type in Chris Taylor social selling on LinkedIn, or scan that QR code there. Come and message me, tell me that you've been today, and ask me any question that you want, and I'll make sure to give you the information plus the replay to this as well. Now, if you've been to one of my sessions before, you'll probably back me up here. I don't spend very much time talking about myself, purely because I know deep down you don't really care about me. You're here probably for the information, I imagine. But I do want to set the scene of kind of like why we do this, because I think it's important. Over the last decade, me and my business partner, Nick, so Nick is a very, very successful business person. He started out as my mentor. He's now an investor in the company, and he's also my business partner in it. So we both share this business. We both work equally as hard in it. And we have been trying to develop for a number of years something which disrupts this marketing and sales education space. It's something which I've been a part of for 5 or 6 years now. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about my backstory in a second. But for me, I've been seeing people charging huge amounts of money, giving very, very basic information for long periods of time. And so I wanted to share what it was that I knew from these platforms with everybody. And so, like, my story, just very, very short, 10 years ago, I got into property. So I started with zero money, really. I had 10 grand, to be fair, which I paid for a property course. Went on this education journey about property and realized that there was huge opportunity in it. I didn't have any access to money at that point, though. Obviously, in property, you need money. And so I learned that you could use other people's money to be able to find deals. I chose Airbnb and serviced accommodation as my strategy. I had zero followers online. And I remember watching a video from a guy called Gary Vaynerchuk, who basically said that no matter what position you're in, if you start documenting what it is that you do, there will be people out there that find it interesting. You'll be really bad to begin with, but you'll get better over time. And I'm a sort of person where if you tell me to do something and you say it's going to work, I follow it through to like the tiniest of details. I don't know if you're the same, but that's kind of like the person that I am. And in that time of starting and going on my first property course, which I documented myself doing, through to 2 years later on, with my business partner, Steve, in the property business at the time, we built up a portfolio of 80, it was 84 in the end, serviced accommodation units. So we managed them on Airbnb for other people. We were like a glorified letting agent. But to do that, we had to raise money because we didn't have our own. So I was like, well, how can I raise money? And I use social media as a vehicle to, number one, build an audience for myself. So over time, people became really interested in what we were doing. My following across a number of social media platforms, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, you name it, I was on it. I learned how to use them and I grew my following to about 150,000 in total. I'm no influencer, but I know how to use the platforms. We've generated over £3 million in sales now across the businesses that we've worked in ourselves. And we track all of our customers' revenue. So I never quote anything that I can't back up. And tracked revenue in our system is around about 135 million. It's a bit over that, but I didn't get the exact figure right. But 135 million, just over that. And we are doing extremely well. And we are very fortunate with the opportunity that we get to work with day one startups all the way to some of the logos that you can see there on screen. We are a training business, right? So we're not an agency. We are a training business. I love to teach people. It's why I run these sessions. I absolutely love to do it. We've now trained over 2,000 people that have actually gone on to win new business online, not just participate in our training programs. That's in like the 4-ish thousand now, but 2,000 plus people have won new business from the tactics that we have taught them online. And still to this day, you can go and check my LinkedIn profile out now. You can go and check it out next week, next month. We will still be doing this because it is so beneficial to the number of businesses that we're a part of. And we have made this so accessible. We do not want to be a company that charges thousands and thousands of pounds and takes your last pennies to be able to teach you this stuff. To work with us, there's zero risk. I don't have a big price reveal at the end or anything like that. So you can put your wallets and purses away. There's no contract to work with us. There's no risk. It's £50 plus VAT. And I and Nick provide a service which gives you all of this information, plus the accountability, plus the tools to be able to do it. And if you're ever interested in that, again, just drop me a message on LinkedIn with that QR code. Just say join, like just put the word join or info, one of the two, join or info, and I'll happily send you more information on that at some point over the next few days. Now, with this workshop specifically, there are some reasons. Yes, that's all I'm going to say about me. That's all I'm going to say about me. Now, I'll put that to one side. Now I want to get to the content. So this workshop today, I have put on for a specific reason. And at this point, what I want to ask you to do for me is I want you to take a moment. You don't have to type it in anywhere, but I want you to have a think about like what's going to make this the best session for you. Purely because LinkedIn is a platform which has so much opportunity out there. It is growing. There's more users that are active on it than ever before. It's also busier than before. And I know content is something that you're probably interested in. So I want you to think about this session and get really immersed into the training that I'm about to deliver because it is detailed. This isn't surface level stuff. It's detailed because one of the things that I am noticing after speaking to about 30 to 40 people every single week is that people are finding and experiencing the same things. People, when it comes to content creation, are struggling with one, if not multiple, of the 5 things I'm about to share with you. And what I want you to reflect on here is if maybe one of these resonates with you or multiple resonate with you. So the first one is ideas. So not having a clue what you should be posting and why you should be posting it. So that is something that everyone seems to keep saying to me at the moment. It's like, look, Chris, I know content creation is important. I know it's important. But when it comes to coming up with the ideas, I don't know what to say. And I know ChatGPT's there, I know Claude's there, and I can use that to get ideas out. But then I don't want to use AI to create it because I then lose my tone of voice and it doesn't sound like me and everyone then thinks I'm AI and it doesn't work. So the ideation is something that we need to get right. And I know that lots of people are struggling with that. Number 2 is literally just being very, very disappointed. So you're visible, but your impressions just seem to get lower and lower and lower. That is something which like I am seeing so much right now. And I want to solve that for you today. We're going to solve that for you on this session. This is a big one. So number 3, the content that you're putting out there just isn't generating the inquiries that you thought it would. So you've been doing it for maybe a couple of weeks, a month, a couple of months, a year. Have a think about to yourself, like how long have you been spending doing this now? And are you feeling a little bit disappointed and a bit deflated and therefore feeling that you want to give up purely because you're not seeing the inquiries that you thought you would get? That's number 3. Number 4 comes down to just not having a strategy in place. So you feel like you're kind of posting and hoping. Therefore, you're inconsistent and it's not really working for you. You feel like it's kind of pointless. It's not connected to anything. And number 5, I guess, is kind of like a summary of all of those. And this is like the words that people have used on these calls. Just like I just feel like it takes that long. Social media feels like a full-time job. And I just don't think like it's worth my time. That is definitely something that I've heard quite a lot of. And I run these workshops online right now to shine a light on what's possible because I think that people are getting so trapped in the details that don't matter. And so what I want to help you do is learn how to use this platform in the way that LinkedIn actually want you to use it. So I researched this for hours every single week. What is it that LinkedIn want? What's performing well? What isn't performing well? Is it written content with photos? Is it video content? Is it polls? Is it newsletters? Like where should be focusing our time? And that is something that we work on. So inside of our training platform, inside of our membership, inside of our subscription, the £50 a month that I mentioned, every Monday at 12 p.m., every Thursday at 2 p.m. So I've done one. I've done 2 this week. With those sessions, I give people updates all the time. Like, this is what's changing. This is therefore what you need to do. Just keeps people ahead of the curve and then keeps them accountable to actually doing it by showing up live at those times. They're obviously all recorded. But for me, having that information, you've got to stay up to date, because if you don't, unfortunately, you're going to see your impressions dip. LinkedIn is always adapting and changing based on other people's behavior, their users' behavior. They're looking at it in so much detail. So we've got to make sure we stay ahead of the game. Now, the first step to all of this, as I mentioned, is your profile. And one of the things that I want you to do, as I just have a quick drink right now, is just reflect on your profile right now, right? Have a think about, does it showcase the best version of me? Does it actually clearly communicate what it is that I do, right? Have a think, and maybe on your notepads, like write down a score out of 10 as to what you reckon your profile is right now. You don't need to put it in the chat box. Just write it down, because I think it's a good reflection exercise. Perfect. Now, LinkedIn profiles, I know, aren't the most exciting subject, but they are something that you need to get right. And on screen there, you can see linkedin.com/sales/SSI. Now, LinkedIn tracks everything that you do. Right? It gives you a score around how you're doing. And your SSI score, your social selling index score, is just something to be aware of. Now, when you log in to LinkedIn, you've got to make sure that you're logged in first. If you then go on to do this on your desktop on your computer, it's easier to do it on your computer. Once you're logged in, just type in linkedin.com/sales/SSI, and then it will give you this score. Okay, so I'm not going to go through the details of this. I've done other videos and other trainings on this in the past, and I've got more coming up. So social selling index is not something I'm going to dive deep into right now, but I do want you to pay attention to this top one: establishing your professional brand. That is it rating your current profile. And so for me, you want to make sure that your score on your profile is above 20. Otherwise, you have got work to do with your profile. What we then need to make sure that you do, I'm going to give you an example of my profile in a second so you can see it, but we need to make sure that your profile acts as the beginning of a campaign. Campaigns I'll talk to you about, but your call to actions, whether that's visit your website, whether that's the links in your in the content that you're doing, whether that's the links in your featured section, whatever it is that you're doing, you've got to make sure you've got the call to actions, the right call to actions in the right place. You can see here with my profile, I've got one of my, I need to update this with the latest workshop actually, but you can see here inside of my headline, I actually have one of my call to actions, which is algorithm workshop on this date here. Click visit my website to register. They then click visit my website, and that then takes them to register. I will basically then make sure that I track like this profile views number. So every single one of you should have over 1,000 people viewing your profile every 30 days, every single 30 days. This actually is in the last 7, I believe. It doesn't actually say, but you can see here past 7 days. So I think it directly correlates. If you're not hitting 1,000 profile views, like, come and work with us and I'll help you get it above there. Like it's mandatory, because then you start to build a pipeline on LinkedIn. You can see my post impressions here. Actually, at this point of recording, my impressions are about 50,000 over the last 7 days. I had a post that did really, really well. So I want to be honest with you about that. Like, it's not always 100,000. I typically sit around 30 to 50,000. And then you can see here in search appearance, I've had a 721 search appearances. Now, some of you may have better stats than me. If so, like, flipping fantastic. I absolutely love that. But with it, we've got to make sure that your headline says what you do, your call to actions are in line, you're tracking your metrics, and then your header image then directs people to, again, where you want them to go. We then have the about section. Now, the about section, the only big thing to realize is that it is keyword sensitive. So when your profile is being ranked on LinkedIn, those search result numbers here with these search results, with your about section, those search result numbers will go up if your about section is written in the right way with the right keywords, purely because, again, it's SEO friendly. So it's LinkedIn SEO, not Google SEO, but LinkedIn SEO. So if you have got like for me, LinkedIn and social selling is everywhere in my about section, purely because when people type it in, I want to make sure that I rank for it. So your about section, have a look at mine, like scan that QR code, come connect with me on LinkedIn, make sure you connect with me, click the 3 dots, let me know you've come to the workshop. Obviously, I'll give you the replay. I'll answer any questions that you've got there. So you can send me all your questions there. But with the featured section, then I'm looking to take people off the platform. So this is what I mean when I say it's the beginning of your campaign. LinkedIn is not the place to sell. Do not sell on LinkedIn. What we want to make sure that we're doing is moving people from that page there to a place where you're going to be able to then capture their details. I've got more on that to come very, very shortly. Because for me, people have like book a call in and all those sorts of call to actions. And there's no point booking a call in if they don't know who you are and they don't know what they're going to get from it. Number one, they're probably not likely to do it. Number two, you don't want to be speaking to people that actually don't fully understand why they're booking a call in, right? The same with PDFs. Most people think and know that they should have a PDF, aka a lead magnet, something that you give away for free on your profile to build your email list up. But the problem is people aren't getting downloads because the PDF isn't correct. Right, it's not built in the right way. It's not got the right headline and the right title. It's not got the right graphic on it. And so people either ignore it or click on it and don't download. And therefore, you're missing out on opportunity as a result. So we've got to make sure we have the right things in the right places at the right time. People, for me, again, like I say, you get this right, and almost instantly you will start to see inquiries. Most people's profiles are where they're leaking so much opportunity. So we just need to make sure that we correct that right in the first instance. The second step in all of this, that's profiles. The second step in all of this is asset creation. So this is about understanding the importance of adding value at the right time and adding the right amount of value at the right time in the process. And so when we think of content, most people default to content just being about posting on social media, just about posting on LinkedIn. And for me, yes, posting on social media is the first part. So this is a framework that we teach in a lot of detail inside of the training platform and the membership, the £50 a month one. But it starts with, yes, social media content. Right. So these are the posts that you do, the videos that you do, the stories that you tell. This is content that earns you the right to be noticed and attract the attention. So that's what the A is for, attracting attention. That is about social media content. But that is only one of the 4 types of content that you need to actually build inside of your campaign. The second is a type of content that's going to capture data. So this is content that's valuable enough for someone to actually give you their details. So like this workshop as an example, you gave me your email address to be able to get to this workshop at this point, right? You've exchanged that to me. This you have seen as valuable enough to give me your email address. Some of you might go on to download some of my PDFs, right? My guides. Some of you might want my ChatGPT prompts, my templates. These are all things that I provide in exchange for you giving me more information. Right. So this is about capturing data so then I can market more and more to you as time progresses. You need to have these pieces of content. This is your marketing content. Okay. A and C is marketing. And you've got to have that on the whole front end of your process so you can build your audience and then you can control it. We then go into the sales content. Okay. So this is where we create excitement. This is where actually you create the content pieces that build the desire for the outcome of and your solution, right? So this is where you talk about the problems that you solve, how you solve them. This is where you use like case studies, testimonials, the conversion part of this workshop at the end. That'll be something that creates excitement because you want to actually get access to the outcomes and the solutions that I'm going to give you. This is why I do it, right? It's something that I absolutely love to do. And this is about me getting that message across. So E is about creating excitement. And then D is creating content that drives decisions. So at the end of this, I am actually going to give you like a special link so you can get some bonuses if you decide to join us today. Okay, so that's a thing that we offer. So we have specific offer pages, we have specific pricing, different offers that we do that enable you to go, yes, this is the time to make the decision. And guess what? If that decision is no, that is also okay. But you need to have your marketing content assets and you need to have your sales content assets. And when you're starting to look at inbound inquiries and starting to see results from your content, these are non-negotiable. If you don't have one of these types of content, you will be missing out on so much opportunity. And people default to thinking, and this is what I think is frustrating lots of people right now. People think that this is just, you know, I just need to just tick the boxes and put this into place. And, you know, I'm going to go on to ChatGPT and just type in, right, can you create me a lead magnet for this, please? Or can you please write me the copy for this post? They're trying to shortcut it. Now, we use AI. I teach AI. I love AI. But with it, you've got to use it smart. You've got to use it in a way that actually really learns who you are. And most people think their AI is trained. I promise you, when you start to see how we use AI, you will see how you train AI. Like, people do not realize its capability for it. It's something that we teach inside of the membership, right? We teach it. But you can't just tick the boxes. You've got to do the research. You've got to understand your buyer. Now, we've been very fortunate to work with thousands of businesses now, and I've spoken to the majority of them on a one-to-one level at least once. And one of the things that I don't know how, I've got a weird gift for it, but like, you tell me, and you do this at the beginning when you start working with us, you fill out like an onboarding form. And that form gives me all the information about your business. And then from there, we load that into your account, and that then allows us to be able to talk to you about the assets that you should have inside your business. It's the reason why we see so many results. I shouldn't even be talking to you about this now, but like, the reason why we see so many results is because we get this information from you in your words, in your language. You're banned from using AI to generate it. I need you to use your own language so I can hear how you communicate. I can read how you communicate. It really helps me understand the psychology behind who you are and what you're trying to do. We can then help you figure out what those answers are. And then we can then map out. So inside of our platform, we have what we call a funnel builder. It's a whiteboard piece of software that you get access to. And then we map out what your process is going to be. So we give you a visual guide so you can go, right, this is how I'm building LinkedIn. This is how I'm building my email list. And this is how I'm driving sales. Like, you choose your campaign. You can choose one of the templates if you want, but then we just traffic light it and we go, yep, we've got that in place. Nope, we don't have that in place. And yet, oh no, sorry, we definitely need to improve on that. It gives us that visual so we can work together. This is how we hold you accountable, because we can visually see the progress that you're making. And when you then start to then look at proper content strategy, so you get your assets in place, and then you look at proper content strategy, you can then start turning this attention that you're getting on social media, the profile views, the impressions, and you can start to turn that intention into inquiries. And people, for me, they overlook strategy. And again, I want you to take a moment now, just have a little bit, just maybe write down on your notepad, if you were going to score your social media strategy right now, maybe send this to me on LinkedIn. Send it to me on LinkedIn, right? Like, send me over your score of what you would rate your social media strategy. So on the message on LinkedIn, put social media strategy equals 3 out of 10, something like that. Have a think. Just write down now what your score is. Self-awareness is key. I score myself all the time with this. But like, once you've got the strategy score, we can then look at building on that. Okay. So with it, what I find whenever I do a profile review, so again, if you decided to work with us, I do a profile review for you. So we look at your profile. And typically what I see is people showcasing the most boring, least effort versions of themselves on the internet. And I don't mean to insult you if that's the case. I just want to be like real with you. Because to win on it, we need to start taking that just a little bit more seriously. And again, I'm not saying that you don't take it seriously. Don't hate me. But we need to make sure that we're talking about our businesses, our offers, and we need to showcase how credible we are, because a stranger doesn't know this stuff. Whenever I speak to somebody one-to-one, like, I speak to them and like, I can see their energy. I can see the passion. I can see how good they are at what they do. But then they keep it like to themselves. They don't talk about it because they feel like icky. They feel like they can't boast. They feel like they feel like they're bragging. And like, that's not it. No, there's ways of being able to showcase your credibility, which I'm going to show you in a second. And when you do that, that's when people are going, do you know what? I want to work with that person, right? You do not need to go out there and post personal content. I see people giving this advice all the time, and it blows my mind. Like, personal content is, yes, it might help with relatability and maybe building some rapport. But those impressions, like, I see people posting about the deepest, darkest secrets, the hardest moments of their life. And like, look, if you want to be brave enough and be vulnerable enough to share that, then be careful and then do it. But please be careful, because like, if you're sharing, I don't know, like maybe like how you were ill or something, and how like how much your life has changed and how difficult you found it. People read this, and as much as we hate to say it, because of what's happened, if you go too deep into it, they'll go, I really like that person, they're lovely, but I'm going to go find someone else that maybe got everything kind of going for them in the right direction, and actually just not sharing the deep, dark stuff. Do you know what I mean? You don't need to do it. For me, There's ways of like generating business in the way that we do it, which is just sharing. Like, this is a professional platform. Yes, we can post personal stuff, but let's actually showcase the best version of our businesses online. And my wife Zoe does this with actually a relatively small following. You can see here, she only has 880 followers, but she was able to reach 133,000 people because her profile was optimized in the right way. You can see here. I help busy people with cash in the bank increase their wealth through hands-off property investments into property to create dog-focused holiday lets. Hence the dog, right? Relevance. It was relevant. LinkedIn, one of the biggest things right now is relevance. So it looks at your profile, it looks at the content that you're posting, it looks at the audience that you're connected to. A good post will hit relevancy in each of those three boxes, and you need to learn that. You need to understand how to do that in a very, very clever way so you start winning on this platform. And when you do, when it is relevant, when the people are searching and they're engaging with similar type of content to yours, the platform puts your post in front of them. And if your profile is optimized in the right way, you get the inquiry here. So this is the second one that Zoe got. This was actually before we were together. You can see her surname is not Taylor, it's Helm back in those days. But I just watched a short video and I'm intrigued to know more. I have considerable experience with dogs and considering investment opportunities. We've had loads more examples on that, but the reason why I share that one is because of her following size. Like, she was able to see those results just from being that little bit more active, bit more consistency, having the accountability of working with us to make sure that we actually delivered upon the promises. And bang, you can see then the results came through. And it's a perfect example, like this one is. So this person here is a guy called George Burns. He, like me, is in property, right? So when he first started with us, he was active, but he was a person his profile didn't really give him very much. He did have a following, you can see there, 10,000 followers on LinkedIn. And can you see this? The book a call with me call to action. We focused his content strategy and his assets on getting everything focused towards property. And we amazingly saw these results. So you can see here, how much money does a 1.5 million buy-to-let portfolio actually make me? Think landlords have it easy? 300K into a deal. How 200K? I bought a property. Just spoke to someone with 50K. Just picked up the viral poker house. Can you see the impressions here? That's his standard. That's not his top performing posts. That's his standard. That's why there's so many of them. Okay. That's his middle of the range. That's what I wanted him to share with us so we could actually see the standard of what he was getting. He was writing in our content format. So he was getting people commenting. He was building his audience in the right way because he was talking about the right things and the content was finding the right people. George now has more followers on LinkedIn than I do. And you can see here, it's no longer book a call. It's how can I help? He's documenting the journey. This is his portfolio. All these things we do together. And again, with it, it's 50 quid and we will help you with this stuff. Okay. We defined his strategy, right? That it really explained. You can see here how credible, if you just look at that content there, it oozes credibility if you go and scroll his profile. And with it, we then created his buying process. So he made it easy for people to buy from him. It is critical that you do this because then when you do, George was doing no direct messaging on LinkedIn. He was responding to inquiries, but he was doing no outbound. He was doing all content and all just responding to sheer amount of inquiries that he's got. And you can see here, funds raised since November, 330K, 527K, 100K, 150K. It's 2 million in total that he'd raised. And he also did some consulting, which I know some of you might be coaches and consultants on here right now. Under 60 grand in sales, literally since November. That was 6 months of working together. So again, with it, George did do a couple of one-to-one sessions with me, but I think in total he spent about 1,200 quid in total. And he did in consulting sales 60, but had raised £2 million for his property portfolio as well. Debbie, just from being visible for a week and a half, we won a big client who has signed up to a 12-month ongoing contract from the back of one of my LinkedIn posts. Now we need to really start focusing on the rest of the videos in the Circle platform. Fingers crossed I get the time to focus in on it. She got that busy, she couldn't even implement all the outbound stuff. This was just the inbound. And I wish more people would just realize how this works, because when you move to step 4, which is about getting more inquiries consistently, every single example I've been through, plus hundreds more that I could have shown you, including myself, uses that ACE framework, right? So attracting, capturing, excitement, decision-making. We attract, we capture, we then create the excitement, and then we enable people to make a decision. It's rinse and repeat over and over and over again. And we generate inquiries every single week because we follow that process. Where we specialize, so me, Nick, in the social selling company, is we help people understand what they need to put in each of those sections so you can see the results that Debbie, that George, and Zoe did. People I know, and we use, like I said, we train AI. It's a very, very important part of what we do. Our system is AI powered, right? We use it to help you speed things up. But people use AI and it unfortunately doesn't get it right. You may have had a conversation where you've actually disagreed with it and you go, no, 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 do it properly. And then you swear at it and then you tell it, well, this is just how I use it. I get frustrated at it at times. But like we nail it every time because we have just been doing it for so long. And you can see my example here. It's like I go and message every person that I connect with. They get a nice little welcome message from me. What then happens is they may or may not respond. That's just fact. Not everybody responds, but they then follow. So if they open my message, they then will, LinkedIn then looks at it and goes, oh, that person might be interested in that person if they've opened the message. My content then starts to show. They then view my profile. It's just natural. It happens all the time. And then with it, I'll get a message like that because the content is written in the right way, attracting, capturing, excitement, decision. Can you tell me a little bit more about the Social Selling Academy? That's the we had a premium program that we don't. So everything is in the £50 now. We've actually made it. It was £3,000. It's now 50 quid. The same value. We just are in a very, very fortunate position now, and we're looking to disrupt the marketplace. And we are really making moves in this. We are growing rapidly because we are undercutting every single one of our competitors by thousands of pounds. I'm excited for it, as you can probably tell, but that's purely because of you guys. When you join, you then rave about it as well, and we grow even quicker. So you get referral commission, obviously, for talking about it, but at the same time, you grow your businesses at the same time with it. So it's like a win-win-win at the same time with it. And Caroline here, can you tell me a little bit more? Of course, I go back with the responding to the inbound inquiry. I don't just go, here's my link to buy. I use my assets. I want to capture the data. I want to generate excitement. I want to enable her to make a decision. So what's the best email number to get you on? Capture. More than happy to talk you through it if you like. I provide an initial strategy call, generating excitement to anyone that wants to find out more. I also have a free training that you can watch, which explains a little bit more about it as well. Enables her to make a decision. Sounds good. If you're free now, you can get me on this. The training video sounds good as well. Feel free to send over a link. Because of time, if you have any questions, just message me on LinkedIn, right? Just quickly go do it now if you want. Go message me on LinkedIn if you've got any questions. I'll answer it there. It's just because of time. Unfortunately, I don't have the time to answer today. I've got a meal after this that I need to get to. But yeah, if you just quickly just drop me a message and I'll make sure that I will get back to you ASAP. You can see here, 3 hours later, loved the webinar, signed up, had a few issues with the payment page, excited to get started, enabled her to make a decision. This is the process that you need to build inside of what it is that you do. And so there's some things to think about here. Most people think that being visible is enough, but unfortunately, right now, because it's so competitive, there isn't enough. For this to work, for us to get the results that we want, we need to adapt and we need to raise the standard up with the way that we show up online. We also need to be consistent with this. Most are needed accountability. I want to give you that accountability, right? It's 50 quid. It's an accountability fee. Think of it as an accountability fee. Someone that's going to be there, the system's going to be there. I'm there every single day. Nick's there every single day to force you to almost do it initially. Because I know that if I can get you doing it for 30 days, you'll pick up the habit and then you can grow, you can learn, you can improve. And when you do it, just like Pete did, so Pete is in, you can see here, manufacture and reducing costs, waste and downtime. He's in what we call pigging is the term. So it works for any business. If it works for Pete, it will work for your business. And you can see here, we developed the content strategy to bring Pete to the front of his profile to talk about pigging, to introduce the concept of pigging. And that is what we call a pig. So you can see here, this isn't the best post we could have chosen, but 48 reactions, 11 comments, 3 reposts. But off the back of that post, Pete messaged and went, just as he was starting to get a little bit despondent with LinkedIn, this was a few months in. So it was about 3 months of work for Pete. It took a bit longer, but it's a hard subject, that one. So it took a bit more work. Just as I got a little bit despondent with LinkedIn and wondering if my time would be better spent elsewhere, an order came in overnight from my US office for $313,000 with a larger order on the back of it promised a couple of months' time, directly as a result of my personal LinkedIn activity. You are only one post away from changing everything. And this platform gives you that ability. And that is why reliability and building the process is so important, because people go round and round in circles trying to work out what to share and how to generate business online. The reality is that it needs the effort over that initial 30-day period. That's why there's no risk to us. It's come and work with us for 30 days. If you don't like it, you can cancel. But over that 30-day period where you implement this content strategy, you implement our direct messaging strategy, your posts will find the right people. And as long as you've got everything that I've mentioned prior to this, or everything that I've mentioned so far prior to this in place, you will see the results that hundreds of other people have before you. Philippa here, she's in recruitment. You can see I refused to work with a client yesterday. They wanted to interview one of my candidates, and I requested the interview question in advance because my candidate is neurodiverse. The client said no. Can't thank you enough for the advice to post something that might be slightly controversial. Not sure why this one is, though, but apparently it is. Something people will relate to, slightly educational, and it will do well. That post is still climbing. As a direct result, my followers have increased from 7,096 to 7,600 in 5 days. I've had 32 messages of people wanting to work with me, and I've been invited to be a guest on a podcast. This kept growing. I don't know if you still use that neurodiversity post, as it was over a year ago. So this is over a year ago, a couple of years ago now. It is now sitting, it keeps growing now, 5,500 reactions, and I still get the occasional inbound lead from it. That's a post that's been years old, and she still rinse and repeats this to this day. And I want to help you get your content working, get your LinkedIn profile working, get your direct message. I want to help you start generating some business, because it doesn't take that long if you just follow the steps, right? So the first step is positioning. So reviewing everything that you're doing and actually getting you a strategy that works. Number 2 is then your profile, right? So I'm going to give you a special offer on the profile today, right, in a second. But we will build out the PDFs, the videos that are actually going to start grabbing the attention. I will teach you everything. What you need to say, how you need to say it, why you need to say it that way, how you edit it if you need to edit it, how you reframe. I'll teach you everything. We will then create the plan, so the right campaign for your business for the right position, because there's no one-size-fits-all approach. We're then going to begin building your audience by posting, driving them to your profile, where then we start capturing with the content assets that we've created. We're then going to run those campaigns. So within the 7-day window, 14-day window, 21-day window, and 28-day window, yes, every week we track for the new opportunities that you're looking to convert. And all you're doing is following what I do every single day. So to give you like a real overview of what it is that you're joining, you're going to be getting and joining a training and education platform. So it's our own platform. We give you access to our training platform that teaches you everything step by step, button click by button click, what it is that I've been speaking about in this session. You're also going to get access to a community of 250 plus businesses, and we're all looking to grow on social media together. We help each other, we support each other, we engage with each other, because we know that together we are stronger. And as part of your membership, you get mine and my business partner's eyes on your activity. I will look at your posts. We will look at your profile. We will look at your website. We will look at everything that you do from a business point of view to allow you to actually get success from LinkedIn. And also, I cover all the other social media platforms as well. So I cover Instagram, I cover Facebook, I cover YouTube, I cover them all. Right. And you will also get to see, because I've done this for so long now, I've got all my templates, I've got all my examples, all saved for you to be able to use. They're all in the resources section. You get all my viral posts, all of our customers' viral posts. You get the GPT prompts, you get the direct messaging sequences, you get my webinar presentations, you get my website templates, you get everything in there. I have put everything together with Nick that anyone needs to be able to get the results online. And we've made it accessible for 50 quid. It's all up to date. It's consistently reviewed. I do this all the time, updating it, improving it, getting updates, making it relevant. People have paid thousands to work with me in the past directly. Today, you get access for £50 plus VAT. This is what some of the training looks like. So you can see we've got getting started, becoming the go-to person in your industry, direct messaging, webinars, building your audience up. And here's the thing. If you make the decision to join now, right, you join us today, you're also going to get an exclusive strategy call. So this is a group strategy call that enables you to get onboarded with a clear plan in place by the end of that hour. So it's a small group between 4 and 7 people maximum. And we go through and we will detail out, okay, what is it that you're going to build? We're going to map it out. We're going to design it. We are also then going to write and optimize your LinkedIn profile for you. So I do this, me. No one else does it. I do it. So when you join today, you will get a form sent over to you. I will then review that form. It takes about 20 minutes to complete. And then it takes me about 14 days because it's very detailed what I do with the rewrite. So I review your LinkedIn profile at this current point. I will then write you a new one with directions on what your headline needs to be, what your header needs to be, what your featured section needs to have, what your experience section needs to show, and then recommendations on the assets for you to create. It's very, very detailed. And today you get that for free if you join us. I will also give you a full funnel review. So I'm going to get you to send me over everything that you're doing, website, landing pages, everything that you're doing from a marketing point of view. I'm going to look at it and then tell you what you need to change. There's no long-term contract with us. It's a monthly subscription, just like Netflix. You pay £50 plus VAT, and if you don't see the results we've mentioned above, you cancel. There's no penalty for it. It's 60 quid. Come and implement it. £50 plus VAT equals £60 if you're in the UK watching this. I've helped people generate multiple millions of pounds in online revenue, and I want to give you the chance to come and learn what I have learned. The link to join is there. So you've got the QR code on the right-hand side, right? So you can scan that QR code now and it will take you to the page to join. It's a simple form. It takes you literally 2 minutes to complete, and you'll get instant access to start actually going through the onboarding right now, right? You're going to get an email that's going to follow up with all the details on as well. But socialselling.co.uk/join. The profiles, there's only 10 people that get the profile review, purely because it takes me like an hour for each one, and for 50 quid. I can't spend more than 10 hours creating profiles. It would take me. So if you want the profile, if like the profile and the funnel reviews and the strategy call is important to you, just fill out the form, get involved now, and I will then begin the onboarding. As soon as I'm back, I'll get the form over to you. You go through your onboarding and then you're in. I've said to you, if you've got any questions at all, again, just because of time, I will make sure that if you send me a message on LinkedIn, I will respond to your question as quickly as I possibly can. I appreciate with this session, I've tried to get as much as I can into it. But if you have any questions at all, send me a message on LinkedIn, Chris Taylor, Social Selling, and I'll be able to find it for you. I hope you have an amazing day, evening, whenever you're watching this. Some of you might be watching the replay of this because I am going to send it out. Yes, I will send the replay out. It'll be sent out via an email. If you, again, message me on LinkedIn, I'll send you over the recording. I'll send you over the notes. I'll send you over the link as well. Make sure you message me, though. If you don't message me, you won't get it. So send me the message on LinkedIn, not here, on LinkedIn, and I'll send it. But for those of you that have joined us, there's a couple of you that have just said that you have amazing stuff. That's fine. The messages. So there's 2 of you so far. So there's still 8 spots left. There's only a small number of you. So if you're on here right now, take advantage of it. But yeah, if you do have any questions, please drop me a message on LinkedIn. I'm really, really happy that you've enjoyed the session. If you do have any questions, I look forward to hearing from you, and I'll see you all very, very soon. Thank you very much, and goodbye. Cheers.